Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Lauren's Journey to Break 90.
We're back again.
Back and better. Today we are at the beautiful Virginia Country Club in Long Beach, California, and we are speaking to the legendary Jamie Mulligan on the mental approach to the game of golf.
Yes, I'm so ready for this because we've had a lot of physical lessons and my mind is a million places now, so I'm ready for someone to give me some mental peace about the game.
Yes. Yeah, we've definitely gone very technical for the start, and I think it'll be great to add in some balance and focus a little bit on our mental approach.
Yes.
So super excited to talk to him. Let's get in there.
Let's go.
Do you want to hit pure golf shots more consistently with every club?
Yes? Hello?
Then let me tell you about lag shot.
This game-changing swing trainer forces you to load the club perfectly so that you can instantly groove that incredible feeling of a flawless golf swing with smooth tempo and perfect timing. And since you can hit real golf balls with lag shot, you get concrete feedback on every swing. Lag shot comes in men's, ladies, and junior models. Click the link in the description for a special Claire Hogle discount and find the lag shot swing trainer that's right for you. Today we are joined by my dear friend Jamie Mulligan. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you very much. It's
Thank
nice
you.
to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on. Jamie is the CEO of Virginia Country Club in Long Beach, California. It has a truly special energy, and I know you've had such a vision for this course. Yeah, it's amazing.
Good culture.
Yes, and you are the PGA National Teacher and Coach of the Year. Congratulations.
Thanks for that. We're not sure yet how that happened, but it did. We're proud of it. Team award for everybody. Pretty cool.
Jamie has coached the reigning FedEx Cup champion Patrick Cantlay since he was 7 years old, so he's helped him build his game into all that it is today. And Jamie routinely helps the best players in the world bring out the best in their games on the biggest stages, so I could not think of a better person to be talking with today about the mental approach to golf. Jamie has coached countless LPGA and PGA Tour players and just recently took on the Korda sisters. Nelly Korda is the world #1 golfer. So really, really big things, and we're so lucky to have you on the channel.
Thanks. I'm flattered to be invited.
Let's get into it.
Cool.
Alright, cool.
Cool. We're going to make your golf better today, okay?
I'm ready for it.
And I want to start with this. Like, you tell me, either one of you ladies can answer this, but what's the most important number in golf in your mind?
The important number?
Yeah.
My score?
Had a girl. Good. That's it. So doing this at the most elementary, beginning level, intermediate, or certainly doing this on tour for the past 3 decades that we've had, all that really matters at the end of the day is the score. And then the score is a combination of the process that you do in order to make the score at the end of the day. And the more consistently you can score well, the better player that you become, whether you're a tour player, again, if you're just a beginning player. I'm actually surprised and amazed at how much that when I talk to people about golf, they immediately go into swing, or they immediately go into just one little element about that and they forget about the score actually portion of what they're trying to do. So as we go back to rule number 1, you got to try to get the ball in the hole as quickly as possible, any way that you can try to figure out how to do that, and then build your process. And if you have any phobias with the game right now, meaning you're picturing like, oh my gosh, my swing's weird, or my putting stroke's weird, or I look weird standing over it, or I'm looking at a swing on Instagram. It's really interesting with social media. I don't have any, I think Claire is well aware that I don't have, Instagram. I don't even know what TikTok is.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
I don't need to be a bit of a dinosaur on that, but kind of one of my issues is when I see a swing on Instagram. By the way, when you don't have that, everybody texts you what's cool or what's right on Instagram or whatever, so it seems like I always see it anyways.
Right.
I just don't get all the content. But I also wonder, like, when I see a swing, how many takes did it take to get that swing that they posted?
Right.
And if you think of tour players that have unique actions, like Jim Furyk, when I first watched Jim Furyk play, he had a backswing that was 2 feet outside the line and a downswing that looked like it was 2 feet underneath the line. So it was changing like 4 feet in the plane line. I was seeing it the first time when he was a very young pro and thinking, I don't know if this guy's going to make it. At this point, he's like He's probably got for sure in the top 10, maybe the top 5 career earnings of all time. He's had like 215 rounds on the PGA Tour without making a bogey. You know, he's shot, you know, the lowest score on PGA Tour history, shot 58.
Right.
So, like, would you copy Jim Furyk, or, you know, Jim's dad taught him how to play golf. The fact that they never changed his swing, and that's what he could get in the hole with the leg. That's what I really, really love.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would start with that, okay? Ask me a question that you're thinking about, like what makes you feel with your game, and like what kind of worries you more, or what you're thinking about. Like when you're driving away from the golf course, I think that's always the time when it hits you. Like, I wish I would have done this. Like, what's a wish I would have done this?
I think it's my setup in hitting the ball. I think when I leave the course, I'm always like, I wish I would have just like relaxed a little bit more when I'm over the ball, instead of like thinking about 100 different things to do. Then maybe I would have hit it better.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I feel like my mind is very unfocused because I'm trying to focus on so many different things when I'm playing.
Okay. You got a homework assignment, okay?
All right.
I want you to Google Kobe Bryant free throw end of the game Utah playoff. Okay. And he just, you know, game's on the line, bounce, 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 ball up in the air, relaxation, switch, you know. Hand the ball back to him again. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Ball up in the air, relaxation, swish. Okay? So let's go into this. I'd love to have something that monitored the activity in your brain, meaning you, meaning everybody. I'd love to have something that monitored your breath. There's Whoop, and there's a lot of stuff that does that as far as that goes. I'd love to have something that monitored the tension in your body. And I'd love to be able to have a calibrated score that told us what that was, just like golf, with the more close to a flat line you were, the better that you would actually be.
Right.
What you just described is when you're driving away from the golf course, you haven't flatlined into that situation to beat Kobe at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So this is what I see with people. There's 3 things that we can control for sure. We can control our brain activity and our thought. Like, as you're listening to me, you can choose to have 8,000 thoughts, or you can choose to just go, this guy knows about golf, I'm going to listen to him. Hopefully it's the latter that you're doing right now. You can learn how to control your breath rate. It's like everything that you do, like in psychotherapy, in any type of counseling, any type of analyzation, any type of exercise, they're all like breathe, breathe, breathe. You go to yoga, I don't think yoga should be called yoga, it should be called breathing, you know?
Breathing and posing.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I'll stop this. Like when I first started doing Bikram, there was always, you know, one young lady that was in the Bikram class, regardless of where I went, that looked like she could, you know, turn herself into a pretzel, you know.
Right.
I'm trying to bend over this much, I can barely bend over. And at the end of the class, when you get into Savasana, when you lay down and you're supposed to chill, like the teacher says, well, you should stay there for the longest time, you know. I feel like I'm staying there for 20 minutes, and I get up and there's still 10 people that are still laying there, and the girl that was the pretzel looks like she's dead, like she's completely like knocked out, you know, so obviously she's flatlined. She's flatlined, yeah. Beware to walk up to her and be like that. You're cool, you're still making a breath, yeah. But anyways, and then far as like tension in your body, like I ask people like all the time, like if I shook hands with Claire with those fancy nails, like that, like that's a hard grip. And if I went ahead and shook hands like the way somebody's holding a golf club, right, it feels like that. That's a big difference in our grip pressure, okay? As opposed to that, as opposed to this, right? So now combine those 3 elements, right? You got a bunch of stuff going around in your head. Some people might put the SH word on it, okay? All right? Then you got a breath that's going, I gotta get a shot. And then you got all that tension in there, and then you're trying to get that ball in the hole as quick as possible, so you don't really know how to control your control center.
Right.
But you should be able to control your control center. When you Google that thing from Kobe, like he looks like everybody else in the arena is going more than he's doing. When I watch somebody win a tournament, they don't win the tournament because they have the lowest score, which was rule number 1. They look the most poised to me. Because I watch someone's tournament golf either live or on TV because I have to do that. I like to turn down the sound. Not that all the announcers aren't my friends and I want to listen to them, but I like to turn down the sound, not look at the scoreboard and try to predict myself who's going to win.
That's
So that's what we're after.
Yeah.
Okay. You follow what I'm saying? I'd love to hear you comment on that because you played really nice golf since you were a young lady.
Yeah.
And you got to do this at school, and I think you know our mentality and our methodology.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about this?
Yeah. So what you just mentioned about the person who stays the most poised generally wins the golf tournament. I won one golf tournament in my long career, well, one large golf tournament, and it was the tournament that I was able to stay the most poised, and I didn't get too up, I didn't get too down, I didn't get angry, and I just kept plugging along no matter what shot I hit. I think the outward poise is really important because the way that you behave outwardly really affects your internal state. So even if you feel like you should be dejected, like you missed a 3-footer that you needed to make, you can't look dejected, you can't act dejected.
100%.
Yeah, I feel
100%.
like you don't get out anger or get out sadness if you give your body over to it and you like slouch over and stuff. I feel like you just feed it.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of stay poised, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So this one on 2 keys so far, okay?
Okay.
Score is the most important thing, and how you look doing it doesn't matter. At this point, your job is to get the ball in the hole, and you need to be more groovy. And that means you need to slow down this and breath and no more tension in yourself.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Ask me another question.
All right.
Or Claire, either one.
Do you have a question? Let me think.
Do you have any thoughts that you think are pretty consistent when you step up to a shot, when you're standing over it? Do you typically,
Great
what are
question.
you typically thinking about?
Not at this point, especially now because I've gotten so many lessons in the past month. I feel like my thoughts are all over the place and they're never consistent. I'm never thinking like the same thought really.
Yeah.
I mean, you just put the ketchup, mustard, relish, onions on the hot dog of why I don't like the word lessons.
Right.
Because what is your lesson? Are you worried about the first 2 things being groovy or score? No, you're worried about all these different procedures, and you're taking multiple lessons from multiple people that have a bunch of different thoughts, and one of them might like peg you and go, okay, I got you nailed, and we're going to teach you how to play better. But I think your goal right now, and I don't even know if I love the word goal. I think putting a time limit on goal is tough, but I respect what you're trying to accomplish. But I think your objective is to try to become a better player. And the way that you just described it, you actually can't do this.
Right.
Lesson number 3. We're on 3, you got the first 2.
Okay.
I taught this kid when I first grew up named Steve Brody. He was a catcher at Long Beach State. He was an amazing athlete. I think Claire knows this. I'm a surfer, okay? Still got a skateboard in my car. I lived in the first house I ever bought. This is a long time ago. This is when 80s music was hip, but I won't tell you what decade it was in. Maybe it was the 80s. So, California bungalow that I bought with, my first money from coaching golf. And it had this like asphalt, kind of rough asphalt in front of the house. And I was on the telephone, and I had brought this kid, Steve Brody, over to my house when we were going to play golf, and I was on a phone call. And he grabbed my skateboard out of my car, and he's standing there doing 360s, consecutive on the skateboard, like that. You can picture that. And I can do a 360, 1 or 2 of them, but he was doing like 10 of them. And he didn't look like he had the anatomy or the ability to do that. What I started to realize about this guy is he was an amazing athlete. Still to this day, like he was a 90 shooter when I met him. He shot 100 scores a year later in the 60s. His first tournament he ever played in was the Long Beach City match play, and he lost in the finals. He got his tour card the first time that he went to tour school. He didn't end up kind of sustaining, and I want to take that responsibility. Maybe he watches this on the fact, because if I knew what I knew now then, I probably would have developed it a lot better. I think obviously we got him to the point, but one of the suggestions we made is one day when he finished, he came in and said, I said, how'd you play today? And he goes, I shot 68. And we were at this public golf course in Long Beach, Skyrings, where I kind of learned how to ski the mountains as far as teaching all day long, every single day. He said, what would you do if you were me at the end of the round? I said, we shot 68 today. I said, how many shots did you miss? And he said, well, I missed 6 shots, 2 putts and 4 shots. And I go, well, there's nobody on the golf course. Take a golf cart back out and hit those shots again. So he would go out and do that every day when he finished. So think about that momentous thing, right? He's obviously a good athlete, hence the 360s.
Right.
So don't be intimidated by that, because obviously he brought that to the table where he wanted to end up as a tour player. But he did one of the most cerebral things in the world, right? He took like what he did wrong in the course of the day and went out and repeated it until he did it right again.
Right.
Yeah, the getting it right was 3 things for us since we're on rule number 3. Quieted his mind down and controlled his body function. And then he thought of like a routine getting into it and thought of trying to hit the shot the best way possible, and let that kind of came out of them. So I got one for you, okay? What would be the perfect experiment for you, you know? Regardless of where you're hitting or where you're practicing, imagine it's a shot, and imagine what the shot's supposed to look like, and then come up with one fundamental key for yourself and one rhythmical key that gets you to swing the right way, and then try to move the ball from point A to point B, and try to repeat it till you can do it.
I think mentally I didn't have a mental game or any idea of what I was supposed to be doing before today. Like I just have a certification in yoga, and so it's funny that I never really
Keep going.
I've never really taken that type of practice to the game. When I'm playing golf, my mind is so much different than when I'm practicing yoga. You know, when I'm golfing, I'm so in my head and so hard on myself, and not breathing half of the time, which is hilarious because I should know how to do that.
Yeah, it's the first thing we do when we're that's the first thing we do. We breathe, and then when we stop breathing, we're not here anymore.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Right. But then it's funny because once you started saying these things, it's like, why didn't I know that? And you make it seem so simple, and you just saying like, be groovy, like we were in the groove. I'm like, that seems so much easier than what I'm doing, which is, I feel like a nutcase in my head when I'm playing, and I should, I think, just be thinking less, be more rhythmic about my play, just be thinking of objectively getting it into the hole no matter how I do that, not so focused on, is my swing ugly, you know, or stupid things like that, when I should really more just be focused on the goal of the game, which is lowering my score.
You called it mental. I wouldn't call it mental. I would call it gig. I like words that you can spell backwards and forwards the same.
Okay.
Mom, poop, that's a funny one. Yeah, but I think this is your gig. This is your gig that you're working on, you know. And in your yoga practice, like if that's the thing that you do the best, I would adopt more of your gig and what you do there and ingrain it in your golf, as opposed to trying to work on all these different techniques right now at the start. And I think we do a bad job. You know, there's 29,000 PGA members in this country. You know, there's probably 50,000 golf pros in the world. There's another 20 or 30,000 that are actually trying to compete. Like, they're all the experts in this game, but I don't think we've done a great job of making people learn how to play better. You know, when I spoke with my friend Claire here, she asked me like, how could I talk to you about becoming a better player? And she might have said mental, but I kind of went in one ear out the other, because I don't think you're mental, and I don't think most people are. But I think the way that we go about this, we have them go to the driving range, and then they take that word that I don't like, they take the lesson word, and then that becomes golf, as opposed to golf is just about making a score. To end this, I have something I think would be a really good experiment for you, and I talked about it already. Watch golf tournaments for the next couple weeks, month. Turn the sound down and just watch the players play. It's going to look similar to Kobe shooting that free throw at the end of the game, especially the people that are doing the best.
Right.
It's totally natural.
Totally natural.
Effortless.
Totally natural.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for your journey a lot too.
Yeah. Me too.
I think this just kind of, I guess, changed course a little bit, but I think obviously in a great way. Because I feel like we were on the lesson path, and as much as all those coaches know what they're talking about and they're doing a great job at what they do, I think for your game you have to also add in an approach that allows you to find your game and not play the perfect game.
Right. I feel like you came at a perfect time too, though, because I have each week a different instructor. I've been getting more and more overwhelmed in my head on the course and been so
farther away from groovy.
Exactly. like all the lessons have gotten me really excited for my game, but this I think has even gotten me more excited because this is like what I truly needed right now. Something for my mind more than my body, really, because I've gotten a lot of technical stuff going on, and I really needed something to...
Yeah, your gig, this is, you got a new gig about the way to go about this, and there's a certain look about people. I watch people start golf every day, and the ones that start with a gig, and they have the way that they go about it, and when I talk to them, I'm like, hey, you're getting pretty good at this pretty quick, what's going on? They're like, well, I was an expert skier, I just tried to do it the way that I learned how to ski, and they adopt that. It sounds like, if you could take acting and yoga, which have been, expertise or stuff that you've practiced, and adopt what you do on that, I think that's going to help you a lot more than, again, where your left arm is in your backswing.
Yeah.
Not that the left arm isn't important.
Right.
It's kind of like the golf is like life thing, so a lot of things are like life. You can take all the biggest things you've learned from yoga and see how they apply to golf, and I would wager that most of them will apply quite well.
Totally.
I'm proud of you for your journey. It's cool, and Claire, I appreciate again you coming over and speaking to us. It's been cool to spend some time with you, and good luck to you in your new gig with golf. Okay.
Thank you for taking your time.
Thanks.
This has been
My
awesome.
pleasure. All right.
Jamie, thank you so
All right.
much.
Thanks, ladies.
All right.
Fresh out of the discussion with Jamie, we want to apply a little bit of what he said. So we're gonna have Lauren warm up. We're gonna hit some with the lag shot, which we know is pretty good for face awareness, tempo, all that kind of stuff we were talking about, rhythm, feel. And then we're gonna try to use some of those ideas and hit some shots with it.
Yep.
Let's do it.
I'm ready. Did you get that? So now my new approach is to not think nearly as much when I step up to the ball and kind of just let my body take over, which I was not letting happen before because I had so many thoughts, and I just kind of need to stop that now.
Yeah, so good.
You guys, the tee literally landed on my shoulder like a parrot. That one felt better.
Yeah. What is it that what was your goal when you stepped up to that ball?
To relax and not think, really.
Try to let the club swing you. Just let the weight drop, and you just kind of turn with it as you feel it dropping. So get it to the top, and then try to just kind of let it fall on the ball and just support it through. Yeah, just support it on its way through.
I was really feeling like I was going slower, but
no, you're close. Tempo takes a little bit of time to grasp. You really have to. Tempo takes. I don't know why it took me that long to figure that out. And you just kind of have to feel the weight of the club and figure out where you need to be in order to support that club to be where it needs to be, and your athleticism take over. Yeah, like that. That is so good.
oh my gosh!
Nice.
Let's do it again, please.
More. Yeah, pretty close.
My mind was never quiet before because now intentionally making it quiet.
Yeah, your mind is always going, so I always find it useful to have one thing that I'm intentionally thinking about so that random things don't have the opportunity to come in and cloud what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, like that. Rhythm, tempo, effortless, smooth. Whatever thought you want to use, I think we should try doing that so that we can direct our attention to something intentionally, rather than like being like, oh, like I could shorten my backswing on this one.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That way we have one thing that we're always focusing on, and it gets you in the right mind frame to react to the weight of the club,
Right.
the position it's in, where the ball is, where your target is, what you want to do, and be more athletic about it.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna do effortless right now. Yeah.
That's the one I would pick for you. So that makes Claire very happy. To be quite frank with you, that's my game. That's how I've always learned golf. The best golf that I've ever played is when I'm playing effortlessly, and my only swing thought is just, you know, head tall and just swing around that, or exhale or relax. That's how I play my best golf. So I'm pretty confident that it's going to be a similar experience for Lauren. All right, you guys, that was the lesson with Jamie Mulligan. Huge thank you to Jamie. He was amazing, and he really screwed up our whole deal, but it was
He
fantastic.
did, but then I also feel like for me everything is coming full circle now. Like it's all, we're hitting each part of the golf game.
Right, yeah. In some sense it's both, but I feel like we definitely needed to bring that balance in with just a groovier approach, a more effortless approach, less technical, but it's just the opposite of a lot going on up here, and just trusting your muscle memory, your athleticism, and just kind of getting the ball from point A to point B and decomplicating everything.
Exactly.
So this was a really good episode. Thank you to Jamie for interrupting our whole situation in the most beautiful way possible.
Yes.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you got something out of it and that it will apply to your game. I really trust that it will. This is one thing that I think applies to everyone's game, is just try to be yourself more, try to be a little groovier, however you want to think about it. But I really trust that this concept will also help your game, so I hope that you can apply it at home or on the golf course or wherever you play your golf. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. We have another exciting guest, another exciting episode.
Yes, we do.
Next week. Please be sure to tune back into that. Please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell notification to get notified when we post. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.